In this tutorial, we will be focusing on generating a series of ideas and then building watercolor landscapes using those ideas. I know it will be a little confusing at this point. I think I can explain it better as we go along. Hi friends, I am VanidasMangathil and let us learn watercolors together. Let me start with the materials that I am using. I am using an A4 size uh, cold pressed watercolor paper, 100% cotton, and it is around 300 GSM. To be precise, it is 270 GSM, and the brand is an Indian brand called Chitrapat. I am thoroughly wetting the paper first, and I am using a big mop brush to do the washes. Okay. So the idea here is just to wet the paper and initially create some kind of an atmosphere. So I want a little bit of a gloomy kind of an atmosphere, not very bright. So I am using a little bit of an earthy color, brownish color, burnt umber to be precise. And I am applying that around the horizon. It is wet on wet. I am using a smaller mop brush for this. Okay. Now I wanted to apply blue color for the sky, and I don't want it to be very bright blue. So I am mixing little bit of that earthy brown color to that same burnt umber, and maybe a touch of crimson, a touch of red. So it's a mix of cobalt blue and burnt umber and a touch of crimson. So it became too much reddish purplish now. I'm adding more blue to this. Sorry, I'm not showing the complete palette, but I'm trying to explain the colors. Okay. So at this point, I'm creating the sky, and without proper planning, I'm just moving my brush and leaving some spaces as blank. Since the paper is wet, I know that it will spread, and some of the left out white will make it little interesting. Something like dark clouds uh, on a on a clean sky or something like that. I don't have a proper plan, as I told. And let us, I'm not clear what should be the foreground. For the time being, I am keeping it something like a reflection of the sky. Okay, so it could most probably turn out like a water base in the foreground. And now it is damp. It is not fully wet now. It is a little damp. I have felt it with the back of my hand, and I wanted to use another wet on wet application for the far away ground. So I really do not know how the far away ground should look like. So I'm using a thicker consistency of the sky color, which again is cobalt blue, burnt umber, and little bit of crimson. And I'm making this far away ground. Since the paper is damp, I want it to be spreading little bit. See, once it spreads on the paper, we will get some kind of a shape formed without proper planning. Some shape will be formed, and looking at the shape of the foreground, I think little bit of greenish tint towards the nearby area, somewhere in the mid ground, may be a good idea. So I am using a little bit of olive green for the nearby land. The faraway land is like grayish blue, and nearby land, let us, I'm getting the idea that it should be little bit of greenish, and it should spread, and it should suggest something like a greenish land on a cloudy atmosphere, and there should be some touches of trees, some patches of grass or something. So I'm making some darker touches here and there, some small touches. Those touches, I I I want that they should look like some faraway trees. That is the idea that I'm getting. So right now the idea that I'm getting is a cloudy sky and a faraway ground which is grayish blue. And as the ground comes near to me, near to the viewer, it is becoming greener, and I am finding some uh, trees, a lot of trees. Okay, it is not very distinct. Each tree is not very distinct. They are some kinds of suggestions. Okay, so now I think I'm getting a feel that there are a lot of trees, and some are, the nearby ones are darker because of the aerial perspective. The nearby items will be darker in tone. It should be more sharper on the contrast. Okay, now I'm getting a feeling that these are uh, some trees on a flat ground sort of a thing, and it is not very sharp. Okay, these are not very sharp, and the bottom portion, bottom half, uh, I somehow get a feeling that it could be treated as it is, like some water body. I would, if I plan it this particular way, I wouldn't divide it into half. Now it is vertically kind of divided into half, the water body and the rest of the area. It is kind of, I mean, at the vertical center, I have made that partition. I wouldn't prefer that, but right now I am not getting any idea of bringing that down. Little bit of uh, reflection I have added for the water, and the color is uh, orangish green, orange and olive green I have mixed. I have missed a few 1 or 2 minutes of video of the reflection. I'm sorry for that. Uh, and then I'm suggesting some ripples at the foreground and the bottom of the paper, and the paper is almost dry. As you can see, it is not spreading much. To be frank, I thought the idea of adding ripples will work, but I'm not very happy the way the ripples have formed. It is not very convincing in my view. But since we have already made those ripples and there is no way to going back, there is no undo feature here. So I will have to retain the ripples now. So let the ripples be there. What about adding some taller tree? That is the idea that I am getting. So somehow I wanted that there should be some kind of a taller vertical element. So for the vertical element, I am adding some taller trees. So see, everything if you paint as horizontal elements, it may not be good. The composition as such, I didn't like the way it is vertically divided into half, the water body and the rest of the things. So I thought some vertical taller trees can make the composition look better. See, this is not a well thought of idea. I am taking those decisions on the go. So some of the decisions may work, some of the decisions may not work. So I know that certain decisions that I have taken, uh, I wouldn't have taken if it was well thought out. Okay, some of the decisions I didn't like as of now, like the ripples, the the water body starting at the vertical center. But anyway, let us proceed and try to see how we can make it better from whatever we have. Okay. So I am making some thicker consistency olive green to make those trees, and let us add some sort of sharper edges. Okay. Now, as of now, all the edges are softer. So at least for this bigger tree, I want some harder, sharper edges with good contrast so that they look little bit more interesting. So perspective wise, these are much nearby. These two big trees are much nearby, so we can have more contrast. Okay. So should I have any vertical element? So maybe something at this. I thought of no, I don't like this. So let us convert this into some trees. Whatever these lines I have made, I want that it should be converted to some trees. See, the idea is not to have perfect tree. Okay, so let us create some branches, and maybe this is a tree with shallow foliages, not thick foliages. Okay, or maybe a smaller tree, uh, smaller in the sense there is there is no much thicker foliages, that kind of a tree. Okay, so why that kind of a tree? I don't know, because that is the idea that I am getting now. Okay, so if you have a different idea, of course you can follow. See, the practice of this particular video is that uh, to show the approach where you can take the decisions on the fly and then execute those decisions, and then try to get some convincing landscapes. If you get a different idea when you follow this video, if you are getting a different idea, please follow your idea. Don't feel that you have to follow my idea that I have explained. You can follow your idea. Practice respecting your ideas, and the more you respect your idea, the idea that you get from within, the more you respect, the more you listen to that, the more you respect, the more ideas will keep coming. Okay, so if you want to develop your idea generation department, okay, so you have to keep listening to, keep respecting whatever ideas you get, keep trying it out, and then you will find that uh, you will start getting more and more ideas. So whenever you get an idea, evaluate the idea, and if you think it is going to work, please do practice. See, nothing, you are not going to lose anything by trying an idea. Okay, so you the more you try your ideas, the better you will get at your idea generation process. Okay, so this is the kind of reflections that I am using. For the reflection, I am using the same green color but mixing it with little bit of orange. It is little bit of a muddy color. Okay, orangish sort of a green color to match with the the underlying color at that particular area. Okay, I think that is enough, because we don't want it to be very precise, because we are not looking at a reference. We are just trying out our ideas and we are trying to make it convincing. Okay. If you are liking this video, if you think this video is informative, please do subscribe to my channel if you haven't done. And also please click on the bell icon next to that so that you get notified whenever I release new videos. If you're liking this tutorial, please do give your comment, your feedback. If you have any questions, please do ask them into the comment box below. I will be happy to respond you with my answers as early as possible. Now the area, the bottom half, I don't really like. It looks not very engaging. So I was thinking, what about adding some elements and adding some sort of tiny reflections. See, I could have added a boat and a reflection, but for some reason I don't want to make it complicated. See, the top 60% of the image, I really like the top 60%. The bottom, the 40%, uh, I really don't, I'm not very happy with that, to be frank. Since we have already done it, there is no way of correcting it. Let us try making it a little bit more convincing by adding some elements uh, without making it very complicated. So there could be something which is coming out of this water, some vegetation, I don't know what it is. I'm just thinking of some shapes and some reflection, that's it. I'm not specifically thinking of what exactly is the element there. It could be something coming out the water. That area may be little shallow water, and there may be some kind of vegetation in the ground which is covered partially by water, and there are some reflections as well. That is the idea. So overall, I think this can be treated as done. And let me take out the tape. And overall, I'm happy with this. See, this is not a perfectly painted watercolors, but I feel it as very happy, and I feel that I have listened to my ideas and I have respected my ideas, and I am happy that it worked to a good extent, though there could be some areas which could be done better. So if you think this approach, please do practice, and I'm sure that The more you practice, the more you will get better with generating ideas, and you will get better with your watercolor landscapes. So thank you very much for watching this video. And as I told earlier, if you have any questions or comments, suggestions, please do write them into the comment box below. Please share this to your artist friends so that they can also take benefit of this tutorials. And if you have any kind of suggestions for future videos, please do write them into the comment box below. I'll be more than happy to get back with my responses to your comments. Thank you very much. We'll soon see you with another interesting tutorial. Bye bye.